Brenda here with the Indigo Doors for week 4 of Love Yourself Bootcamp. Welcome back. Welcome back. So week 4 is called I Am Safe. So we're going to talk about feeling safe. And this is a very similar conversation that we had a couple weeks ago in regards to stress and worry. This is actually the feeling space of stress and worry. And I want to bring this conversation back because I am incredibly passionate about entering that emotional space. Our emotions and those parts of us are our most powerful parts. You can just sit in that for a minute. So feeling safe, being safe, is detrimental to loving yourself. You cannot actually have love for anything or anyone without safety. And I invite you to think about that for a minute. And actually, I invite you to think about it all week long. Think about that. Being safe. And so for our needs, if we consider like our physical needs, our physical body, we need to be physically safe. If you can imagine kind of being in a stressful experience, and maybe if you've ever waitressed, you know what I'm talking about. It's a very stressful environment, and it's go, 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 and you can feel it in your body. You can imagine a couple hundred years ago if you were out and about and you were trying to, hunt for food or protect yourself from other tribes or something. Like, you can imagine like being physically safe, like it affects the physical body. That's why your adrenaline increases, so that you have other faculties that improve. And then there's a mental safety, which is why I talked about stress and worry first. Right? Do you have a mental space, a safe space where no one's judging you, where you feel free to express all of yourself, all of your uniqueness, your specialness, your quirkiness, your weirdness, right? And if we think of that outside of ourselves, right, who are the people that we feel safe around? So then we bring that to ourselves. How do you create a mental environment within yourself? That was all about, I think it was week 2, about stress. Yes, it was. Stress and worry, that is not a safe place. That is not loving. So to say I am safe and bringing it to the feeling space, that's practicing feeling all of the things that we've been talking about all of these weeks. And we have to bring in feeling safe. So this one's a little bit different. It might be a little bit uncomfortable for some that maybe want to bypass all the feeling space, because all this week is going to be about experiences. Practicing the experiences of feeling safe and feeling loved. They go hand in hand. They're partners. It's actually more than that in safety, but we'll get there. So we'll fully understand that these two are integrated fully together. So practicing feeling safe. Now, feeling safe is different for every person, right? And that's like, yes, of course. And that's part of it, this boot camp, is getting to know what does it mean for you. You matter. What you feel and think matters. So what do you need to feel safe? So very similar to, let's say, having a party, or not even having a party, like having your best friend over, right? You're going to invite them over, you want to spend time with them, you want to laugh, you want to love each other. You're going to clean your house, right? You're going to make their favorite food. You're going to create a safe space. So what is your safe space within yourself? It is going to include what feels safe, right? What clothes feel safe? What food feels safe? What environment feels safe? And like I said, we're all different. Some people do not like clutter. They get like tense. They do not feel safe. That's okay. Support yourself in that way. We can look at that without any judgment and know, I like clean spaces. Other people, man, that drives them crazy. There's like, oh my God, we got to make some chaos here. I need something. And that works for them. And they go, I feel safe, right? Physically safe. So what does that mean for you? You're going to need to spend time in that. And then what do you need safe in this mental space? I'm pointing to the brain because the brain has a lot to do with the mental space. It's not everything in the mental space, but the mental parts of you, the psychological parts of you, right? What is a safe place for you in that space? So, for example, it is incredibly safe and loving to be supportive, to not have any judgment, right? Thinking about how you feel around others, creating that mental space. So now you can feel this growing into the wholeness of your being, and then bringing in the emotional safety. That, my dear friends, might take practice. And it might take practice because this is a space that we don't often think about or go to. It is another area that we take for granted. That's why I talked about stress and worry being kind of this system that runs rampant without us being aware of it. And this is especially true if you've had trauma recently or if it's unresolved within you. This is going to be a beautiful opportunity for you to repair some of that. And added to that, if you had a childhood that was tumultuous, that was dramatic, that was toxic or abusive, you might not know some of these cues within yourself that know how to feel safe. Because being unsafe was normal. So that's why we're showing up in this way, right? To notice what's going on inside of you and what do you need to feel safe. Now listen, if you're not sure, if this kind of freaks you out and you're like, oh my God, I don't even know, I don't know, but I really think I don't feel safe, that's okay. It is one of those things that you kind of notice after the fact because you feel anxious all the time, because you do feel worried all the time. You're like, I don't know how to feel safe. That's okay. Slow down, it's okay. You don't need to know how. You just need to show up and practice. So what does that mean? It means slow down. It means practice letting go of maybe this mental space of your thoughts, practicing that, doing the breathing exercises that I talked about, and allowing yourself to feel safe. This cannot be bypassed. And as many times as you need yourself to show up and repair any past traumas of not being safe, you will show up for. They won't go anywhere. They will stay here. And there's nothing bad happening, and there's nothing to worry about. You got this. This week is about being mindful about the parts of you that maybe felt unsafe before or feel unsafe now. That you show up for, that you notice, and you say, right? So you're going to relax your body. Just practice. You don't need to think too much about it. And as you're relaxing your body, what I always invite people to do, and those of you that have had sessions with me, you know that I invite you to allow your thoughts to flow like the river. Now you're going to notice them. This is a beautiful way to practice no judgment, because you're going to allow for whatever arises. You're going to allow for it to arise and just float and imagining it go by you like the river. And you're just going to go, oh, yep, I'm totally worried about that. Yeah, okay. You know, I'm really afraid of this. Oh, okay. You know, I'm really mad about, oh, okay. You're going to let it go. And you're going to let it float by. Now, if you pick up any of those thoughts, you will instantly feel it. And that's how you know that you're engaging with a mental part of you that has a belief system that doesn't align with you, because your stomach will start to get upset. Your shoulders might get tense. And believe me, that's different for everyone. Those are my 2 ones, okay? You'll feel it in your body if you're slowing down and you're noticing. So what I like to do is just take the thought, I throw it back in the river. And yes, I'm using my imagination, which is a powerful tool within me to practice. Because with practice, pretty soon, my being, my mental self knows I am not going to pick up those thoughts. And I don't care how many times I have to throw them back in the river, I'm good. I'm going to learn. I'm going to know that I'm not going to pick up any of those negative thoughts. In fact, I invite you to even maybe look up what distortions in thinking are. They're all over the web. That kind of helps you look at maybe the ways that your mental self is creating an unsafe place for yourself, like black and white thinking, or only negative thinking, like you just kind of get on this negative tone of like, everything's bad, everything's out to get me. So practicing imagining your thoughts floating like the river. So now we have a physical space that's safe, then we have the mental space that's safe, and then the feeling space. And this is not something I can give you concrete because this feeling space is a different pathway for everyone. For me, it's going to be in the heart space. So if I'm struggling and I'm not sure how I'm feeling or what's going on here, I'm just going to touch my heart. And I'm just going to say, I am safe. I am safe. I am safe is unique to each and every one of us because it is a feeling. And it is an element of love. Those in our life who create the safest spaces for us, whether they're emotional or physical or mental, we feel the most loved by them. We do. We'll be like, I love that person. I feel so safe. You might not even know that it's because you feel so safe with them. Very important conversation for loving the self. Slowing down, practicing loving the self. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 ideas with this, and I kind of already have given you some. I want you to trust yourself, and I want you to just show up, like I said, maybe in the morning or the evening, and start saying, I am safe. I am safe. And then feel it. Because this is not the intellectual discourse I was talking about with stress and worry. This is more of a feeling, allowing yourself to feel safe. Do you notice how I keep saying the word allowing? Allowing. Giving yourself permission. Powerfully choosing. So, for this week, every day, spend time feeling safe. You could go outside, sit outside, lay outside, in whatever capacity, 5 minutes at least, where you're just dedicating to feeling safe. And a great way to do that is use your senses. Feel the wind. See the clouds or the trees. Just notice them. What color are they? How does the wind feel? What do you smell? And then, of course, what do you hear? This is mindfulness. And it's a wonderful way to practice feeling safe. It requires letting go of all that tension, the energy that just builds up in our being, and letting go, surrendering. This concept is a little bit more abstract. It's not as concrete as the other things I've talked about, and it's necessary. Feel safe. You are so safe. You know, I've been talking a lot about all your needs are met and everything is possible. And that concept for some is really challenging. And in imagining all your needs are met, you're invited into all the belief systems that might not be in alignment with that. So the judgments within you, or the distortions in thinking, or the values that contradict that, maybe the values that your teachers taught you or your parents taught you. and also the feelings within us. Right? And that's where it gets abstract. And a lot of times we want to just go to that mental space. And we're not going to be able to. We're going to need to show up for these feelings. Because they will keep a knocking. It will say, hey, but, hey, like, and you're going to know because your body's going to tell you. Your feelings are going to tell you. So, going outside. Practice I am feeling safe. Saying the words maybe in your head or just feeling it. I then invite you in some fashion once a day for the next week, whether you're driving, if you're not driving, when you're at work and you're in the middle of a meeting, or you're just doing your job, I invite you to become aware of you and say inside yourself, I am safe. I am safe right now. I am safe right now. I am safe. You're doing amazing. You are so safe. And you are so, so, so dearly loved. Keep being you. We need you just the way you are right now. I love you. See you next time.